Working on the Work, an Action Plan for Teachers, Principals, and Superintendents by Philip Schelekty. Philip Schelekty is the founder and CEO for the Center of Leadership in School Reform and the author of various books, including Working on the Work, which he added to his repertoire in 2002. Formerly, he was a professor at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and executive director of the Jefferson County Public Schools and Gaines Professional Development Academy. He serves as the advisor to many school districts in the United States and Canada, and he conducts seminars and training sessions for superintendents, school board members, union leaders, principals, teachers, and parent groups. Schelekty is one of the nation's most sought-after speakers on topics related to school reform. Nowadays, public school educators are under increasing pressure to improve student academic performance. There are at least 3 ways educators might respond to this pressure. They can work on the students, work on the teachers, or work on the work. We chose this book because it was very relative to most of our current roles that we play now, as well as it's relative to the role in which this cohort was designed, to be a leader in the role of the principal. Schelekty in this book shares his beliefs on the different types of engagement, his vision of the Working on the Work framework, and implications and responsibilities for each of the educational roles of teacher, principal, and superintendent. Schelekty offers leading and probing questions for those individuals to ask themselves as well as others when ensuring that they are headed in the right direction of becoming a WOW school. Principals and teachers are challenged to look at their school and classroom through the lens of the student in the area of engagement and to have dialogue, plan, and make time, and in essence, work on the work they have been called to do. Superintendents are challenged to make time to collaborate and to share the responsibility with principals and central staff members.
Engagement analysis. As you view the upcoming Ferris Bueller's Day Off video, chart 2 specific student actions and 2 specific teacher actions.
Of the anyone the Great Depression passed the anyone a tariff bill, the Hawley-Smoot Tariff Act, which anyone raised tariffs in an effort to collect more revenue for the federal government. Did it work? Anyone know the effects? It did not work, and the United States sank deeper into the Great Depression. Today, we have a similar debate over this. Anyone know what this is, class? Anyone? Anyone seen this before? The Laffer curve. Anyone know what this says? It says that at this point on the revenue curve, you will get exactly the same amount of revenue as at this point. This is very controversial. Does anyone know what Vice President Bush called this in 1980? Anyone?
Five responses for engagement. In Working on the Work, Schelekty asserts the idea that if students become engaged in the right stuff, they are more likely to learn what we want them to learn. There are 5 types of responses students display in a classroom setting with regards to engagement. Rebellion. In this classroom, most or all students are distracted from the task at hand because they see no value. This includes cheating, talking to others, standing up in class, or completing other teachers' homework assignments.
Retreatism. In this classroom, the students do not engage in the task at hand, however, they are not disruptive.
Passive compliance. In this classroom, you will find students working on the task, however, they find little or no relevance to the task and only complete it out of fear of consequences.
Ritual engagement. In this classroom, the students are doing the work, but only for extrinsic rewards, like grades.
Authentic engagement. This is where we want most of our students to be because they exhibit high engagement and high value. This basically means that all students are engaged in the lessons because they find value. The knowledge you have acquired and the actions you charted from Ferris Bueller's Day Off indicate which of the 5 responses best corresponds with the student and teacher actions. You guessed it, it is rebellion and retreatism.
Schlechte has taken the 5 types of students' responses and has categorized them into 3 types of classrooms: the highly engaged, the well-managed, and the pathological classroom. In each classroom, most students are authentically engaged most of the time. There are also, however, considerable ritual engagement and some passive compliance, and maybe even a little limited amount of retreatism. In the well-managed classroom, it has considerably less authentic engagement. It has considerably more passive compliance and retreatism. Ritual engagement, as opposed to authentic engagement, is the dominant mode of response in this well-managed classroom.
This classroom, however, can be misleading. Teachers and principals must ask the appropriate questions. And the last classroom is the pathological classroom. This classroom looks very much like the well-managed classroom, except for the rebellious student. In many cases, students reject the task, and they are also prone to replace the task at hand with other interested tasks. Test your knowledge. I will give you 30 seconds to match each response to its descriptor. You got it right. In reference to engagement, Schlechte clarifies his vision of a WOW school. In a WOW school, nearly all classes are highly engaged, and when they are not, teachers make every possible effort to redesign the pattern of activity in the classroom so that more students are authentically engaged.
Schlechte shares his vision of a WOW school. Within a WOW school, there are 12 foundational standards that provide the framework: patterns of engagement, student achievement, content and substance, organization of knowledge, product of focus, clear and compelling product, a safe environment, affirmation of performances, affiliation, novelty and variety, choice, and authenticity. Within the standards, there are probing questions that principals and teachers must ask of themselves, students, parents, and even the community. Future STEM leaders, let's work on the work. Think about your innovative campus. Let's walk through some of the sample questions that you should ask yourself to assist you with your own vision to see if your campus will encompass a WOW school and produce authentic engagement. Do teachers commonly work together to analyze the characteristics of work they are providing to the students? Do students believe they have learned what they needed to learn while in attendance? Are the parents satisfied with their students' performance and if they're progressing and learning what they need to learn? Do students see a clear connection between what they are doing and what they are expected to produce?
A WOW school has a framework designed to pique student interest and enhance student learning. However, without its key stakeholders, the teacher, principal, and superintendent to help guide and drive its implementation, its success would not be evident. Schlechte defines the role of a teacher as a leader and an inventor. And when creating student assignments and tasks that pique the interest of students on a daily basis, teachers must be mindful of what they can control and what they cannot control. Things that they cannot control, such as classroom resources, school calendar, or social, economic, family circumstances. But the two things that they can control the most are the content of the curriculum and the task assigned and their characteristics. Teachers must create authentic engagement lessons that result in student learning. They should also design these assignments and tasks appropriate and responsive to students' needs that provide student learning and student achievement, specifically mastery. They should consistently assess classroom engagement, such as, is my classroom geared toward authentic learning and engagement, or am I receiving some retreatism and rebellion? And finally, teachers should consult with the principal, colleagues, and even parents with regards to student learning. Likewise, Selected defines the role of a principal as an implementer and a partner. Selected believes that teachers are leaders and leaders are teachers. Therefore, principals should not work on teachers, but work with them. By working with teachers, principals should make sure that their vision is clear enough so that teachers can reiterate all goals and missions to other staff members, parents, and community. With doing so, they should also partake in creating an action plan that is purposeful for student learning and student achievement. Principals should also create a guiding coalition, a group of people that help assist with the transformation and framework of a productive and engaged school. The guiding coalition consists of parents, community, the superintendent, and even central staff members. In order for principals to also increase student achievement and student learning, they should also become well versed in new learning themselves, not only by book studies, but also investing in cultivating teachers through professional development.
The role of the superintendent is to be a supporter and a risk taker. Schlechte asserts that when the superintendent principal relationship is strong and mutually supportive, good things can happen. The principal and superintendent should have a shared authority rather than a delegated one. The superintendent should also take time out of his schedule to visit campuses on a weekly basis. The superintendent is also challenged with clarifying his vision and also unifying his central staff. Sharing the vision includes the central staff as well as the principals who are operating at the campus level. Okay, innovative leaders, if we are truly to embody the working on the work framework, the teacher must work with the principal must work with the superintendent, and we all must work with the community at large, the parents, and the students to maximize student achievement through authentic student engagement.
Last week in class, Mr. Perez discussed authentic learning. Authentic learning provides students with opportunities to engage in authentic experiences that are valuable to their development and growth in their career pathways. Last week, Nivea posted an article about underprivileged students in New York participating in a STEAM program that allows them an opportunity to take comprehensive classes during the first part of the school day and work with corporate entities during the second half in a vocational setting where students are developing new skill sets. Many of the students are poor, but after graduation, they receive job opportunities with the companies that they have worked with throughout their high school careers. When authentic learning is occurring and students' needs are being met, then students are truly career and college ready. Thank you for participating in the Working on the Work presentation today.
Take 30 seconds to share one takeaway that you can use in your innovative school
or one authentic learning experience you would like to share with your classmates.